Hey everyone, what is up? Welcome back to my channel. It's Berlin with another video for you, because today there was a little bit of drama earlier on this morning because Jeffree Star last night posted a picture on his IG stories. It was a little picture of a syringe and he had the question underneath it in a poll: will you be taking the vaccine? Of course he means the vaccine for the C word, the thing that's caused this whole pandemic, the reason we've all been locked inside for months, all of this. Now, let's get into this. You might think, why is it a controversy that Jeffree Star has posted a picture of a syringe and put this poll up on his IG stories? Firstly, putting up a poll, to me, that would suggest, you know, your engagement's low and you're trying to get fans and followers to interact with you more on your IG stories. So that would be why I think he'd put the poll up, because I think it's to do with engagement. But it's shady. It's very, very shady of Jeffree to put something up about a vaccine, because I think 2 years ago now, it was him dragging Kat Von D for being an anti-vaxxer. She came out on a video and stuff and she'd said, oh, you know, I'm not going to vaccinate my child. I'm going to live this vegan lifestyle, all this kind of stuff. There was a whole lot of drama with Jeffree and Kat at the time as well. Let's get right into this one. Here's the photo that Jeffree Star put up on his IG stories yesterday. He put it up as a poll because clearly these polls help influencers with their engagement. This has caused a bit of controversy. People over on Beauty Guru Reddit have been saying things like this. Sigh, not surprised but very disappointed. Instead of a question, beauty gurus with large audiences should be saying, get the vaccine, not asking questions or doing collabs. Prince of Cats said, I'm guessing this ask the audience crap is only because he has no one left in his life to ask besides PR people and his hired help maybe. I don't ever really recall him asking questions on IG before. It's usually just rants and look what I just bought, right? And that is kind of true about Jeffree Star's IG stories, I think. We normally only see him showing off stuff he's bought, showing off his dogs, not really ever getting very political or anything like that. But sometimes he is, because, hey, if we all remember rightly, Jeffree Star did drag his friend of 10 years, ex-friend Kat Von D, for her stance on vaccine and vaccinating her children. She came out as anti-vax. Jeffree Star dragged her in a video that he filmed with James Charles back in 2018, end of 2018, where they were smashing up makeup from brands that they didn't like anymore or people who'd pissed them off. Here's the clip.
We have one last thing to destroy. Oh. It was my last piece of Kat Von D makeup in my beauty room. We talked about it last year. It's time to move on, baby. Because in 2019, we're vaccinating our kids. And this is for not putting me on your PR list, bitch.
And back over on the Beauty Guru chatter, Palming Conservatory said, I don't watch his stories or snaps unless they are reposted, but I had a weird feeling when he'd been very vague about voting. You'd think such an outspoken person who pounces on anyone without provocation would be screaming his head off, promoting Democrats to earn brownie points. To me, it seems like he's playing both sides, trying not to scare away his racist audience. So posting something vaguely anti-vax would not be out of character for him. Now, if you go back to 2 years ago, Jeffree Star did a video that was a full face of brands that hate him. And he talked about Kat Von D, their fallout. He talked about how she'd spread lies about him, apparently, on the internet and all this stuff. He went into all of it and he said how they've been friends for 10 years, everything like that. He dragged Kat. He dragged her, and this was at the time when a lot of the anti-vax stuff was going around about Kat Von D.
So a lot of you are going, okay, is there any more tea? Of course there is. So I was scrolling, and on my sidebar the other day, there was a drama channel that covered something, and it was like, Kat Von D came for Jeffree Star. And I'm like, you recently got married, I guess. You're pregnant. All these things are happening, and you're still concerned with me? You're still concerned with me? You're still concerned with me? I don't understand. So let's throw up the screenshot. I guess she just uploaded a video on her wedding. Let me go click this right now. The drama channel basically showed me a screenshot where someone on her wedding video, which this is like your special day, honey, asked, I bet you Jeffree Star is at home watching this. I'm actually not, baby. I'm busy running a multi-million-dollar company, or maybe 5 companies, and I'm a little busy over here filming and just, you know, living my life. But someone wrote, I get Jeffree Star is probably at home watching this, or something like that. I'll throw up a screenshot right now. And she, Miss Thing, had to write Jeffree who with a wink, and I'm like, that's all you can say, Jeffree who? How about Jeffree that had the lipstick in Sephora with my motherfucking name on it with your company for the last 10 years? How about Jeffree that's in all your books, all your memories? Like, girl, because she was always the friend that had the nicer stuff, and the roles reversed.
The shade, right? Jeffree Star there in that clip, he very much looks, now looking back on that clip from 2 years ago, he very much looks like he was so pressed about Kat Von D saying Jeffree who. I mean, at the time, everyone thought, oh yeah, Jeffree's coming for Kat, Jeffree's coming for Kat. But if you go back and look on it now today, when Jeffree is now the one with his makeup in TJ Maxx and TK Maxx, he took the piss out of Kat Von D for her makeup going in there. Go and look at that clip of Jeffree now. You can see clearly in that clip, he is doing what Peter Mon always says about him. If you've ever seen a Peter Mon video on Jeffree Star, something that I think is really funny is he always says Jeffree Star is the most bothered, unbothered person. And I totally agree with him. Honestly, I think Peter Mon is so right about that. Peter Mon coined that phrase, the most unbothered, bothered person, and it makes me laugh because looking at that clip of Jeffree that I just showed you, yeah, you can see it. He is clearly bothered about Kat, like completely shunning him and saying Jeffree who. They had 10 years of friendship together, and 10 years is a fucking long time, right? It's a long ass time to be friends with someone. But it's ironic for Jeffree now to be coming out posing a question about vaccines when he shaded Kat so hard for coming out as anti-vax previously. Another reason why I think this is really funny, that Jeffree should hold a syringe and ask about vaccines, is because of Kat Von D. At the moment, she has decorated her house, the whole outside of her house. It looks like some Christmas wonderland. It is gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. The public are going past taking pictures and stuff, but she posted something, Kat Von D, a few weeks ago posted something on her IG stories that was kind of a little bit controversial about the whole pandemic and everything. It was a picture that basically said, oh, we're all scared of going outside or locked inside and we don't need to be, something like that. It was something that was kind of doubting whether the whole pandemic, the whole, you know, virus actually exists or it's made up. It was something along those lines, something alluding to that from Kat Von D. So to me, Jeffree holding up this syringe in this IG story now, is that him shading Kat Von D again? Or has his stance on vaccines changed? I mean, it's all a bit weird, right? We don't know. But I think Jeffree was being naughty, and I think Jeffree was throwing a little bit of shade at Kat Von D, and I'm going to tell you why. Because Kat Von D, I've been looking at her Instagram stories, and recently she's been talking a lot about coming out with her music. She's just made her first music video, so she is about to drop music. Kat Von D is dropping music, and you know what? I'm here for it. Okay, I get it. People might not be the biggest fan of Kat Von D, but honestly, I used to buy like some of her old makeup when she, not long after she'd started her makeup brand, I used to buy the products because, to be honest, I always really liked Kat's aesthetic, the whole kind of gothic, you know, thing. I loved it. And the whole alternative thing. So I bought into Kat's makeup, you know, I was into it. But then, you know, of course, the makeup brand started falling off, all that stuff. But Kat Von D said she's made her first music video, all this stuff. So Jeffree, I think, with this syringe is his way of being like, oh, look, anti-vaxxer at Kat Von D. Because she's coming out with music. And it's going to be huge, you know, because Kat Von D, she's already got the shoe line. Her shoes, have you seen her shoes? They are gorgeous. Honestly, if I had the money, I would buy all of them. They're beautiful. Her shoe line, the Von D shoes, gorgeous, absolutely stunning. And then she's coming out with music now. She's also a mum, you know, to a little boy, but she's coming out with music, and to me that's quite exciting, because Kat, to me, her aesthetic, her whole thing is something that I really like. You know, if you said to me, oh, you know, you can look like anyone in the world, who do you want to look like? I'd tell you Kat Von D. Like, being covered in all the tattoos and everything like that, I actually really love her aesthetic. I think it's gorgeous. The whole alternative gothic chick thing, beautiful, absolutely beautiful. And yes, I look like some kind of crazy clown Santa today, because hey, sometimes I like doing really messy makeup just for fun. I'm like, fuck it, let's go, let's do it. So all this I've got on here, it is actually cosmetic glitter. All this red glitter. This is from a brand called Glisten Cosmetics. Here we go, I'll show you. This is Glisten Cosmetics. They do these little pots of glitter, and it is actually vegan and biodegradable. Don't know if you can see that on here. So you're not harming the environment when you want to use this glitter. So I love that, because, you know, if you can help the environment at all with your makeup, great. You know, the beauty world is so bad for the environment, but if you make all these little changes where you can, you know, things that are not bad for the environment, then I'm all for it. So both the black and the red glitters that I've got on here are from this Glisten Cosmetics brand. They're a small kind of indie brand that are based in the UK, but they also do a lot of really nice like wet liners and stuff like that. So guys, on that note, I am gonna stop this little video here. I'm gonna say goodbye, take care, stay safe, stay well, but also let me know all your thoughts and opinions on the whole Kat Von D and Jeffree thing down below. I want to know, do you think that this was Jeffree shading Kat, or do you think this was Jeffree being vague about the vaccine? Let me know. Anyway guys, love you all so much. Take care. Bye. See you on the next one.